Morning, friends. Matt Ort here, author of Save Your Company, Don't Feed the Beast. And I would like to have a discussion with you this morning if you'd like to join me for some coffee as well. Coffee is especially good on these brisk Wisconsin mornings where we're already in the 30s. My invitation is if you would like to play the game of Monopoly today. And perhaps the sad news is that if you're receiving any health care at all, you already are playing the game of Monopoly. I'm one of those. I was born in the 1900s, so one of those old folks. I'm somewhere between young and old. I'm 52. Still got maybe a couple of good years left. But would like to share just a simple example with you today about if we apply the same logic that we're buying healthcare with, shopping certainly not the right word, buying healthcare with or paying for healthcare on the employer commercial side, which is about half of covered lives in America, and apply it to other situations that maybe we know well, and to show maybe how illogical it is. We know how the game of Monopoly ends. We know that the game of Monopoly ends when one person, right, one player takes over the board. At the end of that game, everyone else is bankrupt and one player is wealthy. Now, I'm a capitalist and I believe in the American dream and I believe in entrepreneurialism and capitalism and all of that. But when something goes unregulated and a monopoly takes over, we no longer have a free market. We have a monopoly, which is a win-lose situation, not a win-win as normal free market dynamics require the sellers to have high quality and lower prices than the shoppers determine where the best value is, and that keeps the sellers honest and it keeps the buyers happy. So let's just take a simple grocery store example. We could apply this to just about anything, but we'll use groceries for now. Let's say your employer was buying your groceries for you, and you find out as you go into the store, the prices are unmarked, so you're getting your weekly eggs and bread and milk and so forth. But one day, the light is turned on, and you can see that you're paying, right, your employer's paying 80 and you're paying 20%. But you see that the milk is $47.99, and the eggs are $82.99, and the bread is $146.99. And as you go about the story, you're finding, and the meat is overpriced and everything is grossly overpriced. Would you be upset? Would you continue tolerating that? And so maybe it's because the lights haven't been fully turned on yet and people don't realize what they're paying for healthcare. But that's exactly what's happening in employer healthcare today. And when we buy or purchase healthcare, after the fact, we don't see the price up front. And so we wonder why the premiums keep going up and the deductibles keep going up. And basically we're paying for a plan that a small percentage of employees reach their deductible. So most of the employees are paying a lot and getting nothing or little. And it's just a horrible offering. It's a horrible value proposition. And so when we look at healthcare, the only way to open this up, right, we can go to the sellers and say, you really should just care more about your communities, and you certainly should care less about your profitability and lower your prices, and that just hasn't shown to work. So the only way to really break the monopoly, besides the government stepping in, which they're not doing, which is their job really to regulate antitrust situations, so the only way is through a free market. And so if we had other maybe that was the only grocery store in town, and that's why they're able to get away with that. So we need another grocery store and another grocery store and another grocery store, and then that owner looks up and says, wait a minute, my business was doing so well. In fact, I was raking the communities over the coals, but now I have no shoppers. My aisles are empty, and they're all over at this store, this store. They're offering better prices and better service and better quality, and that would require that owner then to change his ways, or he wouldn't be around. And so that's the power of a free market. So how do we break the monopoly? It's in my opinion, it's not through government intervention. Oftentimes when they intervene, they get tricked, or they're bought and paid for, and they actually make things worse. We've seen many examples of that. ACA, for instance, the Affordable Care Act exploded cost. Didn't regulate it or control it. So the only way is to offer these alternatives, forcing the sellers to actually compete for quality and cost and maybe accessibility, all the things that a normal seller competes for in a free market. And that is the way that we've done it in Wisconsin. That's what's happening in Texas. That's what's happening in Oklahoma and many other states. And that's the only way to not fight the beast, but to starve the beast, to stop feeding the beast and to feed those that are actually offering something that is worthwhile to purchase and visible and transparent. So hope that message is valuable for you today. And once you join our movement, you can join the Free Market Medical Association. I'm now the executive director. We have many chapters across the nation. This is the organization that's going to do this, that's going to lead this. This is the organization that's going to take us forward. And won't you join us and jump on board, because here we go.